So today we're dealing with a paint spill that occurred in a parking lot on an asphalt surface. If this were to happen to you and the paint has just recently spilled and it's still wet and you're able to get as much of that wet paint up off the surface as possible, that is absolutely the best practice. We would recommend grabbing maybe a large spackle knife and a mud pan to kind of scoop and then scrape it off. You can use a mop, rags, whatever you can do to get as much of the wet paint off of the surface as possible is going to really help make this process easier. Unfortunately, in this case, we were not able to do that, and the paint did have time to dry. So we had to deal with a dry, somewhat thick film of paint here and getting off the surface. What we did in order to assist with getting that paint up is we applied a citrus-based stripper. It's environmentally safe and it's less aggressive than a solvent-based stripper would be and less likely to damage the surface, especially with an asphalt surface, which can be delicate in these types of situations and easier to break down. So what we did is we applied this citrus-based stripper. We did a nice thick layer of it. You don't want to go too thin and allow it to evaporate and become ineffective. In this particular case, we had to go apply the paint stripper nice and thick, and then we actually put a plastic sheet film on top of it because we had to go away and then come back to the location about 4 hours later. That allowed the citrus stripper to start to do its job of breaking down the paint and made it much easier when we came back that afternoon with the pressure washer. What you can see in the video is after we remove the film and the citrus stripper is still wet on top of there, then we're able to go back and use the pressure washer to just simply remove all of that paint, and you can see how beautifully it's coming off. Just make sure you get all those extra little spots and it should come out looking good as new. Just a couple of tips for you. Make sure that whenever you do spill wet paint, you're catching it right at the time of and you have water there, do not add water to it. That will make a much bigger mess. And also you want to be very conscious that you're not letting the paint run off into any drainage or areas or anything like that. So hope this helps you if you find yourself in this unfortunate situation.